This video is about isosceles triangles and midsegments. An isosceles triangle is a triangle that has at least two congruent sides. If you have those two congruent sides, it's going to form a vertex angle, and the two angles that are across from those sides are base angles, and they're going to be congruent. And that's the key. So, given an isosceles triangle, the base angles are always going to be congruent. So that means, in this case, x is going to be 75. So looking at problem number 2, you see that we've got the congruent sides here for the isosceles triangle. That means these are the base angles that are going to be congruent. What's the total number of degrees in a triangle? 180, right? So if we start with 180 and subtract 30, that's going to leave 150 degrees. Now that 150 degrees is going to have to be shared equally between these two base angles. So if we take this and divide by 2, you're going to get 75 degrees. So that means both of these base angles will have to be 75 degrees. You could double check your work by adding up these three and making sure that they add up to 180. But x is equal to 75 degrees. Taking note of the congruent sides, you can tell that these will be the base angles that should be equal. And again, the total number of degrees has to be 180. So if we start with 180 and subtract the 98, we get 82. Now this 82 degrees has to be shared equally between the two congruent base angles. So we're going to take this 82 and divide by 2, and that's going to give us 41 degrees. So that means each one of these base angles has to be 41 degrees, which means that x is 41 degrees. Alright, take a look at number 4. If these are the congruent sides of the isosceles triangle, then that makes these the base angles. So that means this angle over here also has to be 43 degrees. Now, since the total number of degrees in a triangle are 180, if we subtract 43 twice, that should give us the leftover angle. So 180 minus 43 minus 43. So that leaves 94 degrees for the vertex angle. Okay, so x equals 94 degrees. Alright, problem number 5. We've got the isosceles triangle, and so that means since these are the congruent sides, then these are the base angles, which will be congruent. Now, the measure of angle A is 3x. Okay, so this is 3x right here. And let's see, the measure of angle B is 7x plus 22. Okay, so this is 7x plus 22. Anything else? The measure of angle C is 8x plus 14. Okay, so this is 8x plus 14. Now, what are we supposed to find? Well, we have to find x, and then we need to find all the angles. Well, there's more than one way to do this, but we know the base angles are equal. So one thing you could do is just set these equal to each other. So for example, 8x plus 14 should equal 7x plus 22. So if we subtract 7x from both sides, that's going to give us x plus 14 is equal to 22. Then we would subtract 14 from both sides, and that's going to give us x is equal to 8. Alright, so far we have that x is 8. Now we can substitute that back in to find the three angles. Alright, so angle A then becomes 3 times 8, which is 24. So the measure of angle 8 is 24 degrees. Angle B becomes 7 times 8 plus 22. That's 78 degrees. And the measure of angle C becomes 8 times 8 plus 14. Oh, yeah, well, we knew that that would also be 78 degrees because the base angles are congruent. But it's good to just double check and confirm that everything is working as it should. So these are the answers to problem number 5. Alright, M, N, and P are midpoints. Okay, so that means these are equal, and these are equal, and these are equal. Okay, M, N, and P are all midpoints. MP is 22. Okay, I better zoom in. MP is 22. MN is 24. And let's see, the perimeter of MNP is 60. Okay, triangle MNP. So the perimeter of this small triangle inside here is 60. Okay, let's go ahead and find this missing side right now based on this perimeter being 60. Alright, the perimeter means it's the sum of all, so that means x plus 22 plus 24 must equal 60. Okay, so in other words, if we take the 60 and we subtract the 22 and the 24, that should leave the third side. Okay, so the third side must be 14. So we just figured that out. Okay, and you could double check and make sure that these three all add up to 60, like the perimeter says. Okay, what else are we supposed to find? So we're supposed to find NP and YZ. Okay, let's see, did they leave us a space to put these answers? No. So we'll make our own. So we're supposed to find NP and we're supposed to find YZ. Alright, well, we found NP just now, so that's 14. Now, how about YZ? Okay, YZ. So, the way these mid-segments work, when you connect midpoints like this, it's called a mid-segment. So, MP is a mid-segment. That mid-segment is parallel to this side of the triangle. Alright, a mid-segment is always going to be parallel to the third side. And it turns out that the mid-segment is half the length of the third side. So if this is 22, then YZ here is going to be 44. Okay, it's coming from the 22, and we are just doubling it. Okay. So those are the answers to number 6. Alright, number 7. In triangle ABC, the midpoints are L, M, and N. Got it. Okay, so LM is parallel to what? So we were just talking about midsegment. So LM is a midsegment, and that's going to be parallel to this side, which we'll call BC. Segment BC. Okay, what about segment AB? Well, segment AB is right here. That's going to be parallel to this mid-segment, segment MN. Okay. Now we're given some information. AC is equal to 14. Okay, so this is 14. So given that, we're supposed to find LN. Well, if this is 14, we have learned that the mid-segment is half. So the mid-segment will be 7. Okay, if MN is 8, okay, MN, so if MN is 8, then what's AB? Well, that mid-segment is parallel to this side of the triangle, and the side should be double the length of this mid-segment. So this should be 16. Whoa. Alright, it's double. Okay, how about if NC is 3? If NC is 3. Okay, so here's NC right here. Alright, if that's 3, then what is LM? Okay, we're supposed to find out what LM is. Alright, bottom line, it's going to be 3. Okay, I suppose you could look at it this way. These two segments are congruent, right? The NC and BN, since N is the midpoint. So if this is 3, then that means this is 3. Okay, so that means that this is going to be 6, and the mid-segment should be half of that. So if this is 6, then this is 3. Alright, but you can kind of see the parallelogram that's right here. Okay, can you see the parallelogram? So if you look at it that way, the opposite sides of this parallelogram are going to be congruent. So these two sides would be the same, you know, every single time. These two sides of the parallelogram would be the same, and these two sides of the parallelogram would be the same. So you don't really have to double it and then take half again. You can just sort of see the parallelogram of it. Did I answer the question? Let's see. Yeah, LM is 3. Okay, next one. If LN is 5, I think I already answered this accidentally. But if LN is 5, then what's going to be 10? Okay, that's an interesting way of putting it. But if LN is 5, then this is the thing that's going to be 10. Okay, that side of the triangle. And of course that's AC. Okay. But wait, there's more. It gets better. We have this stuff down here. If LM is 3x plus 1. Okay, so we're talking about LM, and let's say that that is 3x plus 1. And BC is 10x minus 6. So BC is this guy. Okay, so if that is 10x minus 6. Okay, we know that this bigger side is double the smaller side. So we can make a little equation based on that. Okay, so here comes the equation. The big side, all right, 10x minus 6, is going to be double the small side, 3x plus 1. So we just need to solve this equation. So that means 10x minus 6 is going to equal 6x plus 2 as we do the distributive property. So to solve this, we would subtract 6x from both sides. So that would give us 4x minus 6 is equal to 2. And then we would add 6 to both sides. So that would give us 4x is equal to 8. And then we would divide by 4 on both sides. So that's going to give us x equals 2. Okay, I don't know why I put a box around that really, because that's not the final answer. But note, x equals 2. So now we can find LM, because coming back to here, here's LM, okay, and it's 3x plus 1. So now we know that x is 2. So this becomes 3 times 2 plus 1. So that's 6 plus 1, which is 7. Okay, we can do the same type of thing right here with the NM and the AB. So let me start over. Okay, NM. NM is this right here. Alright, and so if we're told that that is x minus 1, and then AB, which is this right here, and we're told that that is 3x minus 7. Alright, so again, the bigger side is going to be double the midsegment. So let's write an equation for that. So 3x minus 7 is going to be double the midsegment. Okay, so that means that 3x minus 7 is going to equal 2x minus 2. So subtracting 2x from both sides gives us x minus 7 is equal to negative 2. Adding 7 on both sides gives us x is equal to 5. Okay, so take note of that. Now we're going to use that to find AB. So here's the expression for AB, but now we know that x is 5. So this becomes 3 times 5 minus 7. So that's 15 minus 7, which is 8. Okay, so those are the answers to number 7. Okay, let's move on to number 8. M and N are midpoints. That makes this the midsegment. Okay, so let's find x and then plug that back in. So this is just like we did just twice just now. This side of the triangle is going to be double the midsegment. Okay, so in other words, 5x minus 1 is going to be double the 2x. So 5x minus 1 is going to equal 4x. Okay, so be very careful here. Be very careful. We want to get the x's together. Kids get confused when everything cancels out, but I want to get the x's together. So I need to subtract 4x from both sides. But when I do that, I'm going to get 0 over here. Just be careful. So 5x minus 4x. Now I have x minus 1, and that's going to equal 0. So don't be afraid to put 0. A lot of kids will just put nothing here, but it equals 0. And then we're going to add 1 to both sides. Okay, so that'll give us x equals 1. Alright, so there you go, x equals 1. Now we can find mn. So since x equals 1, this becomes 2 times 1, which is just 2. And this becomes 5 times 1 minus 1, which is just 5 minus 1, which is 4. Okay, and so that's the answer to number 8. So that's going to be the end of this lesson, end of the video. Alright, I hope that was helpful to you. I'm going to also post another video because we have to do some review of what we've learned so far in this unit. So I'm going to post a video for this review that's all about supplementary angles and complementary angles and linear pairs, parallel lines, transversals, all this kind of stuff, bisectors. Okay, so I'll see you on the next video.